I fixed it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my first attempt to do our Guardian team lead interviews. And I'm here today with I suppose I'm here with two of the team leads, technically. I mean, I am here, but I can't really be here with myself, can I?
You can be. Lots of people are alone with themselves.
This is true. This is true. For those of you who aren't aware who I am, my name is Eric. I'm one tin soldier on the Rooster Teeth site, and people call me Big Red. And I am one of your two Line Guardian team leads. And the other team lead sits before me on my screen and potentially before you on your screen, and provided I don't fuck this up while I'm uploading it. Introduce yourself to the people, my friend.
Hi, I am Grady. I am GB330033 on the Rooster Teeth site.
It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, it's a lot of numbers. And I am the second half of the Guardian, Line Guardian team leads.
Yes, you are my better half, as it were.
I really like the idea that if you're Big Red, given my connection with Mega Man and such, and my penchant for wearing the hat,
it's like it's meant to be. It's like it's meant to be, and then when we get into an argument, it's red versus blue. It's poetic. It fits just there. I love it.
Perfect.
So for those of you who aren't aware, I don't know if this is going to be the first video that goes up or not, but our intention is to have all of the team leads address their people, as it were, address the masses. So this is our attempt to sort of interact with people, let them know kind of what we're thinking on what we're thinking, and let you guys know a little bit about us, so you can know pretty much exactly what to expect.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what you should expect.
No
All right.
more, no less.
So let's jump into this here. I'm gonna ask you a question, and then you're gonna ask me a question, which is probably the same question, and then we'll go from there. So, Grady, what are you about? What do you do? What's your thing? Tell me something interesting about you.
So I make my living as a systems administrator here in Austin, Texas, for the University of Texas.
Nice.
I work for a research institute, which means all the really, really smart people who are going to do things like cure cancer and perfectly predict weather in the future. I do things like make sure their Mac is connected to the network properly, make sure their email opens, all of that stuff. Install the programs that they need. That's my job. Because
you're a facilitator.
Yeah, I mean, and like don't get me wrong. When something super awesome comes out of our institute, I will definitely take credit for it.
Definitely put your name in them those footnotes right there. Tech support.
Yeah, so that's what I do as my day job.
Mm-hmm.
I have,
as I understand, you have a very sort of public night job, hobby. What?
Yeah. So my second job, as I like to call it, I also run a little thing you may have heard of called RT SideQuest, which is the community event group within the Rooster Teeth community. We do lots of stuff everywhere. We raise money for charity. We actually, so the day that we're recording this is the day before Caleb and Barbara are going to go over the edge.
Oh yeah, that's tomorrow, eh?
So they're going to rappel off a 38-story building because we asked them to, and then we managed to raise, we raised over $5,200, I believe.
Nice.
So
did that hit the target to give them GoPros?
Oh yeah, they'll both have GoPro cameras.
Awesome.
So we'll have GoPro footage from both of them and put together an awesome video. So that's my second job. It pays in love and good feelings.
That's pretty awesome, dude.
And yeah, so that's me in a nutshell. I've been a Guardian now. This is my 12.
12, 13, 14, 15. This will be 4, yeah.
Yeah, this will be number 4. I have been a team lead all of those years. The first year I was in 2012, Guardian team leads were.
Hey, you seem like you have authority.
I mean, they were defined, but then they were fires, not literal fires, but things we didn't anticipate. And so I started out as the team lead for the Immersion Museum, which within a few hours was clear it was going to run itself. And there were other areas that needed help, so I did that. Then the last 2 years, I've been the registration team lead. I have now passed that along to people who are much more organized than I, which is what registration needs. And now I'm doing lines. I mean, I'm not doing lines because that means something different. I am the.
Now, hang on. You could go a couple of ways with that. You could be doing lines like "Wherefore art thou, Romeo," or like the other.
I was thinking the other.
Okay, so right there you can already tell where his mindset's at.
Yeah, perfectly complimentary.
Absolutely.
So that's me. What about you? Who are you? What makes you as a person?
Well, what I do, I suppose my primary job. I'm a reservist in the Canadian Forces. I'm armored reconnaissance. For those of you who know what that means. For the rest of you, I drive trucks and sneak around a bunch. I've been doing that for almost 8 years now. So, God, almost 8 years. Sorry, I'm having an old moment today. That's my main income, and then I got 2 jobs on the side. I work at an EB Games part time, so I am a cog in the evil machine, as it were. And EB Games is the Canadian version of GameStop, owned by the same company. For those of you who aren't aware. And I just recently picked up a job cooking at a Royal Canadian Legion, which is basically I don't know if you want to call it. It's not like Veterans Affairs, but it's a community group for veterans. So I cook, twice a week, and I clean.
So it's kind of like a social group.
Yeah, basically. It's like a knitting club, but for people who used to fight in actual wars. Don't know why that came out, but that's how that's coming out. I'm also involved in my own sort of side community thing. I've recently gotten myself involved with Toronto Unconventional, which is the cure for the common con. That's the party byline. Every time I say that, I get a check for 50 cents. So
I like it.
I'll be coming to you, Charlie, for that. But yeah, I keep busy. I've got a hell of a summer coming up, which is why I'm doing this as soon as possible. You see my girlfriend here. She knows. She's nodding along. So yeah, that's me. I'm pretty great, I guess. This will be my 3rd RTX. I've been a Line Guardian all 3 times. And then this year, apparently I impressed somebody. I don't know what that's about. But they decided to put me partially in charge. So, you're here to keep me in check when I go mad with power, and I'll try and do the same.
Oh, don't worry. I reserve my mad with power for the side quest side of things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to be my checks and balances then. All right. As from your own description, this is your first time being a Lion Guardian. So I guess my first question for you, besides the first question that I already asked, is what is a Lion Guardian in your mind?
So, lines to me, line guardians, they are responsible for making the arduous task of waiting somewhat more bearable and doing it in an organized manner. Because that's at its core, like I mean, yeah, we're responsible for making the snakes and keeping people in the
Uh-huh.
right location and making sure that lines don't form where they're not supposed to be and all that stuff. But to me, the most important job is making the waiting better for the attendees of RTX. So
Mm-hmm.
we know there are going to be, thousands of people standing around waiting to get in the podcast panel. We have to make sure that those thousands of people aren't dying of boredom for the possible hour wait or 2 hour wait. Who knows how long it's going to be?
Mm-hmm.
And so we do that by engaging them, by being entertaining, by making sure that they are still, even though they're sitting in a line, that they're still having a good time at RTX. So that to me is what lines are. The other stuff like the making sure everyone is in orderly fashion and all of that stuff, I think that's secondary, and that comes from that kind of follows. If you're engaging the people who are waiting in line and you aren't yelling at them to stand straight, blah blah blah, they're gonna respond better to you, and they're gonna naturally kind of it's gonna be a lot easier to put them in the correct locations and things like that. So I think priority one, be it's hospitality and making sure that everyone's still having a good time at RTX despite the waiting.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I understand that. Um, in my philosophy follows pretty well onto that. Um, it's not so much. It's not there this year, but in previous years, the lines team, they call this line management. They've just shortened it to lines because save the trees. But that basically says all you need to know. It's lines and it's management. You're going to be dealing with the physical problem of lining people up, but you're also dealing with the personal problem of managing the people within those lines. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but there are people who are less than personable, who have had issues in the past, and there are people who are far too personables and turned something small into something large. So you got to strike a line between yes, I'm here to entertain. oh, oh, oh! I have a headache now.
I've had a headache for 9 days, so it's okay.
Yeah, you got to find that line. You got to be entertaining, but you're not an entertainer. Your staff, your management,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. You got to enjoy yourself, but you got to also make sure everyone else is enjoying themselves. If you see a fire, you got to put it out as soon as possible in as efficiently a manner as possible. And one of my biggest things, and I know that it's one of Mary's biggest things, from talking to her, is solving problems at the lowest level. So if you think that you have the faculties to solve a problem that you have come across, do so. If you're not confident, check with the people around you. See if there's someone around you that's confident. If you need to go higher, go higher. But the idea of solving a problem at the lowest level is the little fires You can stamp on them and they'll go out. You don't need to go run for a fire extinguisher, upper management or higher. If you can just stomp those flames out yourself, you know what I mean? I love the metaphors tonight. It's great.
We're talking a lot about fire, though.
Yeah, well, that's true. It's an easy metaphor, but the issues, a lot of the issues that come up in lines are small. I need to go to the bathroom. Am I going to lose my space in line? Not unless everyone around you is a complete and total douche, which most people aren't. Things like that. Oh, this is my friend. She was just getting food for us because we haven't eaten in 3 hours. Can she come into line? Well, that's sort of something you have to deal with on a case-to-case basis. There are no set rules per se, but they're more like guidelines anyway. You know what I mean? You want to weigh in here?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's what you're talking about as far as like solving, it's all about solving the problems as to the best of your ability, but also like go the extra step if you need to, like if and you have to be like as specifically addressing the line guardians now, like you have been chosen for this position and put in this position for a reason, and you do have authority, like, so don't like that. I think that's the toughest part is, and something I've seen a lot with Guardians is they feel like they're on the same level as attendees because all of these attendees love Rooster Teeth just as much as they do. And, if they weren't wearing that Guardian shirt, they'd be in the same position that the attendees are. But when you're a Guardian, you do have the authority to say, no, I'm sorry, the line is capped. And you have the ability to enforce that rule. Like, don't be afraid to be a Guardian, to do your job. That's the toughest thing. And like it's you might have to be the bad guy to some people, and that's gonna suck for a moment.
Yeah.
But eventually it's gonna work out better for you than trying to trying to coddle everyone and say, oh well, the line's capped, but who knows, someone might leave, so you can wait over. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't, like, the line is capped. No more people can get in. I'm sorry. But you might want to check out, this panel or this panel or this panel. Like, offer, when you shut someone down, always offer, like, what's the thing? When you close a door, open a window.
Yeah. Like, show them the carrot if you're also going to give them the stick.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can tell you from my experience that each and every one of you is going to have a situation that you're going to come out of, and you're probably going to feel, oh God, I can't believe that I couldn't find a way to help that person, or I can't believe that I had to turn that person away, or oh, I feel so. It's going to feel terrible, but you're doing your job. It's just like, well, this another terrible analogy. It's like being a garbage man. Someone's got to do it. And it might not be glamorous at the time, but people will thank you for it in the end. I've had people come up to me during the autograph fiasco last year, where I got up on a chair and I started shouting at people, this is how I'm handling this and talking and blah, blah, blah. When I finally got the situation diffused and the crowd dispersed back into the masses, there were a bunch of people who came up to me and said, you really handled that really well, and I know I didn't get in the line, but I want to thank you for, being so blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera.
Taking control.
Exactly. I'm straight up not lying to you here. Freeman has approached me twice and asked me if I have a background in security and if I'm looking for a job. Being Canadian kind of hinders that. But if you present yourself in certain ways, and we will be going over this kind of stuff at the event, but this is just sort of our touch base at the beginning here. If you present yourself with confidence, people will believe anything you say.
Mm-hmm.
Which will get you a long, long way.
Not just in this, but in life in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like, I mean, I know in you and I talking, like one of my biggest things is, and goes hand in hand with what you just said. Don't ever yell. You shouldn't yell, but you should project. You can speak very, very, humans have the ability to speak at like immense volume without yelling. Mm-hmm. You figure out the prop, and I mean, I can't tell you how to do it because it's all, natural muscle like manipulation and stuff, but you learn to project your voice, and that's like a super tiny easy thing that you can, as a line guardian, like, you want to know what you can do to be prepared for RTX, practice between now and RTX, just projecting
your voice.
Not yelling, because yelling sounds angry, but just speaking at a higher volume so that people can hear you. And that, like, because the instant you start yelling, you become the antagonist to whoever's hearing you.
And you've lost control.
You've lost control. And that's the biggest thing that, anyone will tell you anytime you're in an argument with someone. Like, if you keep a level head and you don't start yelling and you don't get angry, you
will win that argument every time.
In a better position. And that, I mean,
almost every time.
I'm not going to dive too deep into that, but it's something I try to do every day of my life, and it infuriates some people. But it's a good skill to have, and especially when you're going to be talking to hundreds of people at a time, trying to explain how they're going to get into this panel room, or why they're not in the panel room yet. Maybe the panel's running longer or whatever. You have to get that message out, and you don't want to do it by yelling, because then they're just going to sit there and go, why are you yelling? What a jerk.
All right, so we're running a little long here. Any last minute thoughts you wanna throw
out? The biggest thing, like I said, to me, being a guardian in general, and being specifically a line guardian, it's all about. It's very much a hospitality type job. You know that your job is to manage the line, but the people who you're managing shouldn't know that that's what you're doing. Like, if I had to make, a weird analogy, like, imagine you're a sheepdog. You don't want the sheep to know that what you're doing is leading them somewhere. You just want them to think that you're playing along with them, but when you're playing, you're cleverly leading them the way that, and making them do what you want them to do. So, learn to project your voice, learn to, like, open up that kind of goofy side of you so that people pay attention to you. If you have a goofy hat, I like goofy hats. I'm going to be wearing goofy hats. Last time, I wore my Mega Man helmet with a princess tiara on it.
I remember that.
Just about all weekend. Probably going to happen again. But it's great because people can easily identify you. And that kind of thing, endearing yourself to the people that you're managing without telling them directly, no, you need to get in line, I'm managing this situation, is the best thing you can do. It's clever management.
Absolutely. My only final comment is that because there's going to be multiple venues and there's multiple floors of the convention center, we are going to be appointing a couple of people as lieutenants, and we'll be going through that process as we get closer to the date. And there will be some small amounts of training beforehand. I think everyone's supposed to be there for Thursday, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, okay. So
at least an orientation type thing on Thursday.
Yeah,
it's not
there's
like
two orientations on Thursday, correct? Or is it Thursday and then Friday morning?
I don't know that they've specifically said.
Okay. Well, there's usually orientation.
In the past, that's been, and I mean, I can't speak to it specifically because in my Guardian history, my Thursday has been occupied by running registration because Thursday is a busy day.
Pre-reg. Yeah.
So I actually don't remember much about orientation scheduling.
All right. So, well, then what we'll say now is that we will probably be talking to the group after orientation. So one of us will be at each orientation, and then we'll be doing something afterwards. So keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for the both of us. And, yeah, looking forward to it. See you guys in Austin.
By all means, anyone, not just line guardians, if you're any other type of guardian who's listening to this, watching this, if you have a question about being a guardian or like anything like that, feel free to send me a message on the RT site.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got background in registration, so if you're a registration guardian who, maybe your team lead's out of town or out of contact, you need a quick question answer, I'll
we'll give it a good shot.
What to expect as a guardian for first timers. I'm more than happy to say, hey, these are the things that you can expect to do, and
absolutely,
this is why it's awesome and why we do it.
All right. So
it's always open.
So you want to plug SideQuest real quick at the end here?
Oh, sure. Why
Throw it
not?
in. Throw it in. Where do we go? What do we need to know? Twitter's things.
I guess by the time this comes out, we will be gearing up for our biggest event of the year, which is RTX SideQuest. Currently the only tickets available are for the auction on Thursday night.
Awesome time. You should get tickets.
Yeah, it's our cocktail party and charity auction. It's going to be super awesome. We've got tons of stuff, and I will personally thank you if you come up to me there for coming out, having a good time. We're raising money for all of our different charities. Last year, at RTX in particular, we raised over $15,000. I'm hoping, or maybe it was right at $15,000. I'm hoping that we match or exceed that this year. It's gonna be tons of fun. The other events, unfortunately, are sold out. There might, if people ask for refunds, there might be tickets popping up sporadically. I can't say specifically, but I can tell you for sure that next year we're working already on expanding capacity so that we can sell more tickets to both of those events.
Awesome.
And then, we do stuff throughout the year. We're going to have, more 24-hour live streams. We're going to be doing, more stuff on Twitch, more
Child's Play and
events.
whatnot.
Yeah, more events elsewhere. I don't know when this is going to be up, but we're going to be doing something for the first time ever at San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to be doing something at PAX Prime. We're going to be, we try and be wherever the community is. So that's our whole motto, is connecting community and charity. So
awesome sauce, man. So the website is
rtsidequest.org.
And the Twitter is
RT SideQuest.
And
the Facebook is also RT SideQuest. If you search on the Rooster Teeth site, actually just search for SideQuest, because that was before we had really solidified our branding. But if you go looking for SideQuest, you will find it.
Absolutely. Go on a quest to find SideQuest.
SideQuest.
All right, man. And from me, just pay attention, guys, because we're going to have a whole bunch more of these team lead interviews coming out. We do the RTX Guardian podcast every Sunday at, I want to say,
time
9 Eastern. Sorry, I don't do the timing. I just get texts that say, hey, you're late. Okay, according to my girlfriend, it's 9, so she knows all this stuff. Find me on Twitter, at this Tin Soldier. Find me on Rooster Teeth, 1 Tin Soldier, the number 1 Tin Soldier, no spaces. And for now, I guess that's it. Thanks for listening, and See you later.